Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Two of the teams from the earlier group we talked about, India's group, will be playing tomorrow. It's a single header. And let's just quickly look ahead to that game. It's going to be Afghanistan taking on Scotland. Again, Scotland, a surprise addition to this particular group because they were not expected to be number one in the group. We would have scheduled Scotland in the other group. They should have been Afghanistan, Bangladesh, technically, but it's not to be. It's Afghanistan, Scotland. We look ahead to that. Zaheer, I'll come to you first. For Afghanistan playing in these conditions, you'd reckon they'll have to turn to their talisman, as always, a Rashid Khan, a Mohammad Nabi, and they've had the right kind of warm-up.
And they'll be very happy to play in Sharjah. There's no doubt about it. You have three big spinners, and that basically just controls their game. You have the firepower at the top in Zazai. He's known to play those big shots, so that they'll be relying on. But I think for them to win games, you've seen that the three spinners, which is 12 overs of spin, is going to be very, very crucial. And these are top quality spinners. They've been putting everyone, all the best of the batters, under pressure. So yeah, you can't really discount Afghanistan in this group for sure. And then tomorrow, I'm sure they will be in with favorite stag in that game for sure when they play against Scotland.
Huge favourites. I mean, that's an embarrassment of riches to have with their spinners, the experience of a Naveen ul Haq who's been going around the world right now, and of course, as Zaheer mentioned, Cricbuzz, to add to even a Hazratullah Zazai with their firepower. DK?
Oh yes, there is no doubt. Afghanistan is a team to obviously watch out for, not only because of the way they bowl, but I also feel they're one of those, a little bit like West Indies in the sense they're a bit of a hit or miss when it comes to batting. They bat very attackingly. Zazai, Najibullah Zadran, Ahmed Shahzad, and Rahmanullah Gurbaz. All these four batters have the ability to bat at very high strike rates. So obviously it makes them a good team. But again, it depends on which side of the bed they wake up on.
Fair point. We saw the other side of West Indies. It was probably not left or right. They just got out from under the bed, I think, the other day. But I think DK makes a fair point about that. And Scotland will probably be aware of that because they're an associate nation, much more solid side, much more settled, a bit like a county side turning up here. So they'll be aware first thing of the explosiveness of Afghanistan and also the fact that they could collapse, perhaps.
Yes, the challenge for them is going to be how they face the Afghani spinners. So that is something which will be interesting to see. So we've seen that the European teams usually they're good with the seam bowling, swing bowling, and they have a fair bit of idea to go on about it. So Scotland again has got enough experience with their playing with their players playing in different circuit as well, like counties and stuff like that. So yeah, so from that point of view, we'll have to see. They've beaten Bangladesh, so they are definitely will be fancying their chances. But we'll be interested to see how they flare up to the challenge of the trio of spin attack.
Yeah, that certainly will be. I think that will be the challenge. They've got all their pace pair bowlers who've done well in Oman. In Brad Wheel, Safian Sharif, Josh Davey, but TK, they're adapting to Sharjah is probably going to be the key playing against Afghanistan.
Definitely. I think Scotland has been around for some time now. Among the associate nations, they've been playing the longest in terms of the volume of cricket they've played as well. And from the time they've started, they've been around. They're a bit like New Zealand in the sense that they don't have big fancy names or, extraordinary superstars, so to say, but they play tight cricket and they know how to win a game among the associate nations. But when you come to Sharjah and play against Afghanistan with a couple of gun spinners, it's a completely different kettle of tea. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how they've done. Credit to them for beating Bangladesh. From the position they were in, they were 43 for 6. From there to find a way to score 140 and then go on to win the game. Credit to them. As I said, they are fighters. It's there in their nature. It's there in their blood to fight. So we got to wait and watch. But cricket is a game of skill, so they got to find a way to counter the spinners. I'm sure they'll do a decent job against the fast bowlers. They'll definitely field well. They'll be batting very steady, but the key matchups is going to be how they're going to play all those three spinners.
Yeah, you got to think of the Bravehearts of Scotland. Scotland Bravehearts coming up against Afghanistan. It's going to be a very, very good matchup indeed for all the Scottish fans out there. But yeah, the batsmen, Zaheer, they will really need to come to the party. Someone like a George Munsey, who's very, very aggressive, a Kyle Kutzer, he's been around forever, it seems. But I don't think they've quite come up against this kind of a trio of spinners. So that's what they'll have to do. And Chris Greaves was collecting packages for FedEx the other day, picked up, and he's suddenly in a World Cup.
Well, with associate nations, GB, it's always about experience, isn't it? And you got to just level up all the time and evolve as a team, as cricketers. So I think but it doesn't matter how the match goes or how the result goes. For them, it's about going out there and adding new things, learning new things. That's how you're going to evolve. You have a whole lot of qualifier rounds to play before you actually get to the stage, right? So I think the getting to this stage is something which is very important. If you create upsets here or win matches, that's just gonna add to what work you've been doing. So I mean, that's the way I see it, and I get very excited every time I see an upset. You've seen how Afghanistan has evolved. You've seen how Bangladesh has evolved over the years. So I think there's always going to be a great story, and there are always going to be names which we may not think of. But once they make that impact at this level, you suddenly start talking about it, and then you have their work cut out in terms of playing different franchise cricket as well. You've seen so many cricketers now. You're not limited to a geographical location. It's about just showcasing your talent, and there are people to spot the talent and give opportunity.